Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Good News Now. I am Jay Williams. I am joined here by Dan Hoff, of course. And we're glad to be back here at ATV filming once again. And here we're going to talk about the campaign coming up first Tuesday of November. Get out there and vote, of course. We have here a man who is currently serving on the Board of Education and is running for District 3 Town Council, Lou Pacelli.
Hi, guys. It's great to be here at ETV. Great to see you guys again. Thanks for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure, and I am very pleased to be here.
We're very, very pleased to have you. So tell us about your experience. You are currently on the Board of Education, which you have been serving on for a few years now.
That's correct, Jay. I am currently a Board of Education member. I was elected in 2013. I am in my second term. My experience is, well, first let me tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you who don't know me, you guys know me. I'm sure a lot of people out there do. First of all, I want to just say thanks again to ETV and Assad and everybody here. You guys do a fantastic job, and I'm really thrilled to be here. I'm a lifelong resident of East Haven. I've lived in the Foxen section of town for 51 years, giving away my age, folks. I'm a graduate of East Haven Public School System, very proud of that. I attended South Central Community College for Business Administration. I also attended CPI, Computer Processing Institute in New Haven, Connecticut. I worked for the city of East Haven for 26 years. I am retired. I own and operate a successful landscaping business since the year 2000. Most people know me. I'm a musician. I have played in an area band one-way ticket for over 30 years. I volunteer, teach guitar for the East Haven Recreation Department for 15 years. I've served on the Cable Advisory Commission for 14 years. For 8 years. I've served on the Park and Recreation for 14 years. 8 years as the chairman. I'm a member of the Democratic Town Committee. I am a fourth-degree Grand Knight at Our Lady of Pompeii Church, which is now St. Pio of Petrosalina Parish. We have united with St. Vincent's and St. Clair's, which I'm very proud and happy with that. I'm a member of the Parish Council at Our Lady of Pompeii, Padre Pio Parish. I'm an avid runner, and most people see me out running. I've been involved in government and civic activities for more than 35 years. Lived in Foxen, very proud to be a member of this town and growing up there. I have quite a bit of experience with town government, with different boards and how they work. My passion is East Haven. I want to see East Haven thrive. I want to contribute to East Haven. Working on the Board of Education has been a great experience for me. It's enhanced my ability to put together budgets and work on budgets, to work with the parents and the students, which is our most important asset, our students, our youth in this town and in this community. Why I'm running for council
Yes, that was
now,
my next question.
the reason I'm running for town council, Jay, is I respect all mayors that have served. I respect all the council members that have served. They have done some good things. However, there's been a lot of mistakes, and I want to fix that. I want to see District 3, the Foxen area, which goes all the way from the North Branford line on Route 80 to the North Haven line over by Cloudland to Lower Foxen, where Mr. Danny Hoff lives, all the way to the New Haven line and all the streets in between. I've seen neglect, especially under this administration. We'll talk about parks. The Michael Street Park, there was a project done under the Capone administration which put a walking path, cleaned up the path. Mr. Hoff was passionate in that, as well as I. And I've seen neglect there. It seems like Foxen is the forgotten part of town. Our pit area needs to be kept up. I mean, we need to have council members that aren't rubber stamping the mayor, whether it's this mayor, the next mayor, or past mayors. I will work for this community. That's my vision. I mean, we talk about we have a surplus every year. That's great. But when you have a surplus and you cut your services, there's a problem. You need council members that are going to question that. You need a change in our council. A lot of these people have been on that council for 20 years, 16 years. all great people, have the utmost respect for them, all have given a lot to this community. But I think with my vision and my plan, I will work hard for Fox, and I want to see economic development in our town. You go down the Route 80 corridor, you've had buildings that have been empty for years. Our administration currently says, well, there's really nothing I can do about that. You have to, that's what the people that own the buildings. That's not true. You need to have meetings. You need to set up meetings in town hall with these people and say, hey, how can we help? How can we bring business in? How can we get a Starbucks in there? How could we get a Target into this town? East Haven is not just a service town. It's a working class town with thriving individuals, and we need to embrace that. I'm not running. I am running as a Democrat. However, it's not about Democrat or Republican to me. It's about East Haven.
Right.
We are a great town, but we can do so much better.
You see other towns, you see Universal Drive, and I grew up in North Haven, and I saw that area grow up. Route 1 in Brantford has a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Guilford is growing up having a lot of things. How do you think East Haven can compete with that? I mean, East Haven probably does need to get to those levels and have things like that. How do you make that happen?
Well, I have a plan. You know, I'm running for council, and I know that if we were able to work with a mayor, and I'm hoping that we can have a change this year in our leadership as mayor, but you have to be willing to work with what you have. So if I'm elected to council in District 3, I would like to see meetings with the mayor set up with his economic development person. We have an economic development person working in town, but I haven't seen anything. What has happened in the last? I'll go as far back as the last 6 years of this administration, and then the 10 years prior. We need to see where we can work together as council people to get maybe some individuals that live in certain parts of the area of town to get on a panel to work with our district people and our mayor and set up meetings with local businessmen who would come in, have a luncheon at the town hall and say, listen, we want to develop this area. Can you make suggestions? What would be a great idea? I mean, they talk about senior housing, that we have a shortage in East Haven. That's all well and good, but we have open space in Foxen area, and I will fight to keep that open space. Right now, the town is being sued because of what's going on with a quarry in another section of Foxen. Right now, the town is trying to develop the old Girl Scout camp on Sperry Lane. That would have been an opportunity, and that was pledged a long time ago by our former Board of Zoning Appeals to keep that as open space. Our town let that slide. And nothing against any developers, but wouldn't that have been great if the town said, you know what, let's keep that. Let's make that a camp for our community. We have the high school and Dare Run School right near there. The school could have utilized it. We could have had a summer camp there. We also could have had created jobs for people to work there and work with other businessmen to take away the burden of the price of that. So these are things that I see that as a community and as a council person, if I was elected, I would have spoke up for that with the mayor. We can't just rubber stamp everything that goes on. We have to work together. Now, your question about North Haven and North Brantford and Brantford, these are communities that work together to bring businesses that fit in the town, and that's what we need to do. We can't stand to have empty blocks of building. If you go by the Route 80 corridor and take a look, there's been buildings there, as Mr. Hoff lives right near there, as well as you do, that have been empty for 15 to 20 years. We need a council and a mayor and an administration that's going to work with the community to bring that up. Because when you bring in business, it increases our tax base and keeps our taxes stable. It's great to have low taxes, but if you're cutting services, and that's another thing I'll fight for, this administration, yes, taxes are stable, and they're always talking about a surplus, but they've cut services. If you noticed, our plows in Foxen don't get plowed when they should be. There's 4 to 6 inches on the ground before anyone's called in. Our Public Works Department equipment is neglected because of budget cuts, but yet we tout a $4 to $5 million surplus. hey, it's great. I have a bank account, and I could say, gee, I have a ton of money in my bank account, but if I'm not paying my bills and keeping up with my house, what good is it? We need to have council people and an administration that think of the public safety, that think about keeping parks manicured, keeping them up to date. The weeds and the grass at Michael Street Park, sometimes it goes for 3 or 4 weeks to a month before that grass is cut. The pit, the sprinklers are not turned on when they should be. These are services for our community. If I'm elected town council, I'll meet with all the organizations in my district to work with them to better their quality of life. I'll sit with the current mayor, whether he's Republican or Democrat, voice the opinions of the people. That's why I'm elected. I'll work for you, District 3, and I need your vote.
And this isn't something that Lou is just making off the top of his head, because I actually, as Lou pointed out, I live in Foxton. I live about 500 feet from the park. Under the last administration, it was there was a nice walking path. All the seniors from that area, the people with disabilities, the children, had a nice, safe place to go and recreate. The basketball courts were kept fresh and up to date. And Lou, I owe you a thank you for that, because I know you were always up there making sure that it was done. The prior mayor put a gate across to keep. We had people who were dealing drugs and in their vehicles were getting high. And I could walk up there and I could see it. Jay, you and I did numerous cleanups up there in that park, because I would call the town and say, hey, can we get something done? And they're like, nope, our hands are tied, we can't do it. So you and I went and did that. I remember one project we dug deep into the woods and we're pulling out old tires from large trucks, old, resources like that. The children should have, as Lou says and is an advocate of, the children, the seniors, people with disabilities, so forth, should have a nice, safe place to play and feel protected.
And Dan, you brought up another good point I want to mention. Our seniors, our most valued generation, working class seniors that have built East Haven, built this great country that we live in. I want to talk a little bit about that. In District 3, getting back to senior housing, we have a plan, and my plan would be the Board of Education turned over buildings to the town. Those are town buildings. You could take those buildings, get them off the town, so to speak, burden, sell them to a developer. There's your senior housing. You don't have to blast. They're centrally located in areas that's easy for seniors. Hayes School was closed. That could be refurbished and made into senior housing. DC Moore could have been refurbished and made into senior housing. You don't need to take up our open space, folks. We need to keep some open space for our children, for our environment. And another thing I want to talk about the seniors, if I'm elected District 3 to town council, I would sit down with our mayor and I would suggest we have one senior bus in town. That's a shame. We should have 2 or 3 for our seniors. North Branford has 3 senior buses. North Haven has 2 or 3 senior buses. There should be more service for our seniors, our greatest generation. I would sit down with the mayor and work with that. I know I had the experience. I worked for the senior center. I know about the parks department. I worked in that department. I know about snow plowing. I worked in that department. I know about budgets. I'm serving currently on the Board of Education. And if you look at my voting record, I have always voted for what's best for the students. And I will do that if I am elected to District 3. Listen, folks, our town is in need of a new vision. East Haven needs honest and fair government. We need integrity with more services to our residents. We need to stop the rubber stamp approval that goes on. We need to elect people that are going to work for you, because that's why we're there. I am that candidate, folks, and I need your support. And I just want to, if it's okay, guys, I want to talk a little bit about the voting. I'm going to be on row A. So I want everybody to know, in District 3, you can vote for any 3 candidates you want. There's 6 candidates running for town council. 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. You can split your vote any way you want. You can vote for any 3. We're not, just the way we're lined up doesn't mean we're pitted against that person. So you could vote for 2 people that are I'm on row A, and you could vote any way you want. You can vote for any 3. I hope I'm one of those 3. And I'll take any questions from anybody. I have a Facebook page. It's Lou Pacelli for Town Council District
Right.
3. I will take questions from anybody. You can email me at loup44@comcast.net. I will be happy to answer any questions. You'll be seeing me. You see me running, I'm sure. I'm an avid runner, but I will be walking, coming to your door, and I need your support. We need a change in East Haven, folks. We need to change our District 3 so I can work for you.
Definitely. Getting back to you, you being on the Board of Education, I don't have this written down, but I'll just ask it.
Sure.
Have you seen any improvements to the schools at all? And if not, how do you think they can be improved?
Well, Jay, that's a great question, and I'll tell you, I've been on the board for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have always worked for improvement to keep all our services for the kids. There have been many budgets that have been presented, and that's another thing. We need a mayor that's going to fund education. We can't keep being underfunded every year. Last year, our mayor gave us $250,000 increase. The year before, the same thing. We cannot continue that way. Just our union contracts alone are over $500,000 increase every year. So right off the bat, we start in a deficit. And this is why you need council people on there that are going to fight for that. I would like to see town council members attending Board of Education meetings and Board of Education members attending town council meetings. With my experience that I bring to the table, I pledge that I will do that. I don't see any town council members coming to our meetings. Maybe in 4 years, I've seen 1 or 2 council members come to 50 meetings. That's pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pledge that I will do that. Services, I have always voted for the students first, to keep their programs, to enhance their programs. We have a valuable, beautiful high school. We have great administrators, and I have always worked that. I have seen an improvement in our test scores. It's been a slow working progress, but it's getting better. We're currently in the search for a new superintendent.
Right.
I think that Board of Education does need a change. There's been a lot of people on that for a long time. Great people. They've done a lot of good things, but again, we need change. And that goes for me. I don't want to be a town council member for 10 terms or 20 terms. I need to be on there at the most for 3 terms so I can show what I can do, get the job done, and give somebody else a chance. That's the key to good government in capitalism and democracy. Change. Change is
Right.
good for this great country.
I don't think our founding fathers envisioned a U.S. senator being there for 4 or 5 terms over 20 years.
Or a mayor for 18 years or 60
Yeah,
years.
right. Right. So that might segue into something about term limitations. Do you
Well, here's where I'm at with that.
right.
I have a theory on that. I think on a smaller, we are a city. We're not a town. We're considered a city. We have a population of around 30,000. I think we have around 16 to 17,000 registered voters.
Right.
And that's another thing, folks. Please come out and vote, no matter who you vote for. Exercise your right. Your voice counts. I think that on a level of a city this size, I think there should be some limitation. I think a mayor needs 4 terms at most to get a project going. 2 terms is not enough. So I would like to see a mayor, if he's going to be in office, when he gets to around his 3rd or 4th term, there should be something in place in the town that says, and the town should absorb this. It shouldn't be a cost to the town. They should do it the prior election. Like on your 3rd time going out for office, it should be put on the ballot. Should this mayor seek re-election? He's been in for 3. Him or her, should they seek re-election? They've been in for 3 terms. Let the people decide. And then 4 terms should be a limitation for mayors.
Right.
4 2-year terms.
That would
which
be 8 years.
8 years.
8.
And I think we should have that. I think it would be better for the community. It would be better because, folks, like I said, I am running as a Democrat, but I'm an East Havener first. And more importantly, I'm an American. And I will work for you. And I think the more voices from both sides is better for good government.
Absolutely.
Mr. Hoff, any questions?
Now,
You're awful quiet there.
Mr. Pacelli, I see here, according to, and I'll give the site out so the folks can home can go look it up. According to Zillow, the area that I live in, the property values since 2007 have dropped, which means when we're being told as residents that taxes are lower, well, your property values are dropping. Lou, do you have a plan to help raise those property values?
I'm glad you brought that question up, Dan. That's a great question. First of all, that's a big problem for me. When you tout that you have stabilized taxes, lowered taxes, when in 2005, 2006, 2007, my house is worth $330,000. And now in 2017, the property value drops down to $250,000 or $260,000. Of course, your taxes are going to be lower and stable. To me, that's not a good thing. How I would like to see property values come up: education. When you improve your education system by funding it, more people move here and want to live here.
Right.
How do you do that? Well, you need to put some money into your education system. As I talked with Jason before, you can't keep underfunding. How else? We talked about business and economic development. You need to bring more business into this town, more realistic business that's going to stay here and bring more service to the community, because when you do that, you increase your tax base. We have not had an economic developer in town, in that office, where I have seen any progress. We need to interview people that are qualified for that job, that we can bring in and are going to help our community. So by bringing economic development into the town, funding our education, and improving it, that's how you bring more funds in and stabilize and bring your property values up. It becomes a more sought-out place to live. And that's what I would say we need to do. And in District 3, I would work for that. I would meet with business leaders from other communities, bring them into town, show them the area. Maybe we could get our town to do a little bit more maintenance, cleaning up the streets, making it look a little better. Again, we have great public works employees that do a great job. But if they don't have the equipment and they don't have a mayor and administration behind them, it doesn't get done. And that's what I would work for in District 3 in the Foxen area to do that.
Now, you say you'll work hard for the residents of the 3rd District, which is the Foxen area, but we hear that from everybody, Lou. And as soon as the election's over, the council people disappear. I've lived in that area, as you know, for 30 years.
Yep.
I have never, after the election, seen any council person come up to my door or give me a call or say, "Hey, what's going on in your area?" What would you do to rectify that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question again, Dan. First of all, obviously you see me. I'm very visible in town. I'm always out and about. I'm very accessible. I will, if I am elected, have monthly sessions with area groups in the Foxen area. We have great people. We have the Foxen Rec League. We have Biddy Basketball that works in our area. We have so many groups. I would meet with their leaders. I would go to different areas. I would meet with people that are instrumental in our parks, like you with the Michael Street Park, and residents. I will be accessible. You would have my email. You can contact me anytime. I'll come to your house because it's my neighborhood. I live there. I grew up there. I believe government is about people working together. It's not about political parties or rubber stamping to keep a mayor in for another 2 years. It's not about that with me. It's about what's making the quality of life in our area better for each resident. I am accessible, and I will be that person. I am that guy, and I will work for you. And I'm a unifier. I want to bring us all together, independent, Republican, Democrat, because the things we can do when we work together, it's amazing.
It truly is. Definitely. We only got a few minutes left. You have anything else, Dan?
Well, certainly we've covered a wide swath of issues today. But Lou is accessible, as he said. He has his Facebook page. He gave out his contact information. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact Mr. Pacelli through those venues. I have had the pleasure of being a friend of Lou for many years, although I'm remaining somewhat unbiased, because like Lou, I like to look at things. What's the best decision?
Absolutely.
And from what I know of Lou, he's very involved in his community, cares about his community, he's very passionate about his community, and I think come November, it would be a very smart decision for everybody, including myself, to go out and fill in that magic circle next to Mr. Pacelli's name.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Just a couple real quick thing, folks. I am running. I will for Town Council District 3. I am on row A, Lou Pacelli. I want to just let you all know, please, I need your support. I wish all my candidates the best. Like I said, I respect them all. They're all good people. But I just think I need a chance to make a change in East Haven. I think I will prove myself to you. And I want to thank these guys here, Jason Williams and Robert Hoff, for having me on their show, Good News Now. And I promise next time I come, I will bring my guitar.
There you go.
We'll sing some songs.
One more quick thing. If you were unable to make it to the polls on election night, how would you then vote?
I believe that each party and will have there's ways to vote. You can call your party affiliation. I believe they provide rides to the poll, but I also believe you have the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I know we can't vote online yet, folks. Hopefully someday that'll come. But there will be rides provided for those who can't vote. And if you need an absentee ballot, or if you're not going to be available, please contact me at my email. I will put you in touch with the right place to get those absentee ballots. And again, I need your support, and I want to thank you all for having me on the show, Assad and ETV, and God bless you guys.
Thank you. Look for more new, innovative episodes of Good News Now coming up.
And Jay, just to jump on that one thought, if you are disabled, which this town is sorely behind the disability issues, we're way behind. I've fought to get a wheelchair ramp for the town gazebo. The current administration will not put one. I've been told, no, you can't do it. When he was sworn in, he told the New Haven Register he wasn't changing his plans for his inauguration. On my say, at that time, I was chairman of the American Disability Act Committee here in town. And where I'm going with this is, if you are disabled, because I'm fully disabled and I'm ride dependent, you can still go to the polls if you want to. The moderators at the polls can bring the ballots out to the car for you to fill in your car, so that and then fold it in jacket, so that your votes will count. They will still be secret, so there's no pressure. I urge everybody to get out and vote in November.
Make sure, guys, whatever you do, no matter who you vote for, just get out and vote on Election Day, and thank you.
Thank you.